Hello metalheads and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George and today I'm back with a couple of new release reviews talking about a couple of new rather interesting cassette articles released through Darkness Shall Rise Productions, a German based label and distro that seem to primarily focus on reissuing classic long out of print material on cassette primarily. So, the articles in question today are the most recent or two of their more recent reissues and re-releases. Both of them demos and very early material from a very, very well-known pioneering black metal band and also from a US pioneering death metal band. So we'll start off with this first article here. This is from the legendary Immortal, and this release is entitled The Northern Upir's Death. Upir, Upir, Upper, I'm not quite sure, but Upir seems right to me, and this is a really cool little release actually. So as I say, this is a nice cassette format, and what I really do like about Darkness Shall Rise Productions, I've got a lot of their issues and a lot of their releases in my collection here. What I really like is the high quality of these packages. They are really nice, high quality inserts. As you can see, a youthful looking Immortal lineup there. Very high quality indeed. Some cool photography included. Kind of gives it the whole aesthetics. Yeah, really looks the part. So this particular release contains the demo from 1991, which was a self-titled demo. It also contains the EP from 1991, which I believe actually had the same title. It was both kind of Immortal, or I believe the 1991 demo, the death metal demo, more on that in a moment, was actually basically untitled. But the lineup consisted at this stage of Abath on vocals and bass. We had Demonaz on guitars and lyrics, and Armageddon on drums. Show you there. So what's really cool is we do get a little bit of information as well. It's not just a random collection of tracks. We get a little bit of info too. But essentially, side A consists of the demo release from 1991, and that is entitled Side Death. And with good reasoning, because that is Immortal as I have never heard Immortal before. I'm a big Immortal fan. I have all the albums on one format or another, and in some cases I've got releases from Immortal on multiple formats. But I had no idea, I must admit, that Immortal, just like Dark Throne and just like a number of other I guess very influential and pioneering black metal bands, second wave black metal bands I should mention, started out as basically death metal bands. And this is evidence that Immortal, on this nice little cassette on side Death, that's the right one, was in fact a death metal band for 3 tracks, and they are entitled Suffocate the Masses. I believe in some quarters this release is known as Suffocate or Suffocate the Masses. Doing a little bit of metal encyclopedia research did tell me. You got Enslaved in Rot and Left on the Stake. Now, those tracks are very reminiscent of those early kind of demos from Dark Throne, from Dismember and Carnage. You've really got that kind of Scandinavian death metal kind of vibe there. Then of course these sorts of bands, or these sorts of individuals that were getting into extreme music, they would have been force-fed US death metal from an earlier stage than this. And of course Scandinavia itself was starting to harbour quite a healthy underground death metal scene, certainly in Stockholm, the likes of Entombed and so on and so forth. But Immortal were very much a part of that. And actually, before I forget, it's worth pointing out this: the interesting artwork for the Northern Upir's Death is actually from Dead, the sadly departed member of the Great Mayhem. So yeah, it's even more incestuous, but very cool indeed. So you've got the very interesting death metal release, and as I say, if you appreciate the early material from Dark Throne and from Dismember, then you're definitely going to appreciate Side Death. Then if you switch over to Side Black or Side B, then you get the Immortal EP. So that kicks off with Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism, with the intro piece, which of course is the name of their debut album and one of my favourite Immortal albums. You then get a great primitive incarnation of Unholy Forces of Evil, ridden with traditional sort of heavy metal influences, but also what is clearly infant second wave black metal embodiment. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And you've got the Cold Winds of Funeral Frost. Now, the sound quality is pretty brilliant here for the fact that it's a 1991 EP recording. It's primitive, yes. Side Black sounds like early black metal, don't get me wrong, second wave black metal, but actually these are great tracks. Of course, appear in one form or another slightly later down the line, but they sound great here. It sounds like youthful, very aggressive, raw, rough Immortal, and it sounds honest. It's got that kind of working class black metal vibe to it. And we've also got a couple of rehearsal tracks as well, Blacker Than Darkness and a rehearsal of Unholy Forces of Evil, which tagged onto the end there. Both really good tracks as well. None of this, although it's on tape, it's very analog, it's very old, it doesn't actually sound crap in any way. It doesn't sound so kind of thin and weedy. Actually, it sounds pretty good. And I would say that it does also depend on the quality of the tape player that you're using to play your cassettes. Because if you're playing a decent sound system, or if you're using a sort of crappy little handheld one, there's going to be no comparison to the sound quality that you get in there. But I would seriously recommend, if you can pick up something or get access to a little bit more of a decent cassette player, then this sounds perfect. This is proper grab a beer and air guitar along like loons do, and just throw those horns in appreciation of the darkness. So the Northern Upir's Death, or Upir's Death, whatever it is, I know I tend to end up saying these things totally wrong, but hey ho, feel free to correct me. This is an interesting release. Transfer, audio restoration and mastering by Patrick W. Engel at Temple of Disharmony in August 2023. So this is just a really nice package. This is definitely one for your die-hard Immortal fans, anyone that's looking to delve a little bit deeper into the origin of this great band. And what I should have dug out is that I actually bought the t-shirt. So I pre-ordered this from Cult Never Dies. Great site, check them out. Pre-ordered this and the logo t-shirt as well. Or the artwork t-shirt, I should say. And I also pre-ordered this. So this is Amon with the Sacrificial and the Feasting the Beast demos. So this is a really, really cool release, I have to say. Sacrificial dating from 1989 and Feasting the Beast from 1987. This is Deicide as I've never heard them before. So this Amon, if you're not familiar, Amon is basically Deicide, but before the name change. And the lineup here consists of Eric Hoffman on guitars, Glenn Benton, bass and vocals, Steve Ashheim on drums, and Brian Hoffman on guitars as well. So the Sacrificial demo was recorded and mixed by Scott Burns, classic Scott Burns, Morrisound Studios, December 89. And Feasting the Beast was recorded on an 8-track in the garage, August 87, remixed by Scott Burns in August 92. So there's our guys. This is very much early US, definitely Morrisound Studios kind of vibe, early death metal. This is pioneering stuff. I love Deicide. Nice white cassette shell there, with Feasting the Beast on side B and side A, Sacrificial. Really high quality, sturdy tape shell. That's what you want. As I say, I love Deicide, and one of my favourite releases from Deicide has to be their self-titled debut album. And absolutely, without a doubt, that is such a freaking classic. That is one of my favourite US death metal bands from that that kind of style from that era. I absolutely love it. And again, we get a nice high quality insert, and we get a nice package which showcases basically demo versions of the material, the main kind of tracks that appear on that first album. The whole band sound great. The whole vibe is there. It's ripping, it's snorting. We get fantastic slices from that first album, from the Sacrificial demo, with the likes of Lunatic of God's Creation, which is just so brutal, absolutely fantastic. Those riffs are just to die for. Sacrificial Suicide, Crucifixation, Carnage in the Temple of the Damned, absolutely fantastic stuff. Dead by Dawn and the great Blaspherion, absolutely love it. All of these tracks, I'm sure, are staples in any respectable US death metal fans' itinerary on their playlist. Absolutely loving it. Then we've got on side B, we have the much rougher, much rawer, and considerably thrashier, which is understandable, of course, being that this is 1987, Feasting the Beast, which includes an intro entitled Feasting the Beast, before we're straight into Sacrificial Suicide, Day of Darkness, and Oblivious to Nothing. Of course, basically just tracks under different titles, or tracks that were embryonic and then reworked for the later releases. But I have to say, Feasting the Beast has very much got a early kind of Slayer, well, not early, I'm going to say it's got a Slayer and early Creator vibe to it, definitely. There's a serious aggressive thrash element to it. Not going to lie, Glenn sounds pretty monstrous, pretty manic, even at that early stage, but he definitely doesn't sound as distinctive as he does later on, of course, with his very iconic vocal style. But it's just a brilliant release, to be honest. It's just very interesting to get an insight into that early Amon or early Deicide sound. Sounds great. If you enjoy that first album, but you also enjoy kind of, you know, your demos or your really rough takes, then certainly going to appreciate Feasting the Beast. And to be honest, the Sacrificial demo doesn't sound too far off the finished product. Of course, that Deicide debut album, self-titled, has been reworked and remastered subsequently, probably numerous times. So it's interesting to hear here its original kind of rough take, although this has been remastered as well, or reworked. But hey, still sounding freaking good. So Amon with Sacrificial and Feasting the Beast demos, the releases prior to becoming Deicide, of course. But both releases out now. They've both been released recently through Darkness Shall Rise Productions. I know you can get them in the UK via Cult Never Dies, and I think probably some other distros as well, but that's the main one that I've seen. I think that both of these are actually out of stock currently on the Darkness, on the actual direct Darkness Shall Rise Productions web store, because they have been in such high demand. But of course, you know, you've got a legendary black metal band and a legendary death metal band in their infancy. It's going to be highly sought after. I would definitely say that they are both worth checking out, not just for the collectors, but also just for fans of early death and early black metal, indeed. So check them out, pick up a copy, support Darkness Shall Rise Productions, and show your support for the metal underground. Thanks for watching, my friends. Do feel free to share your thoughts and opinions on these particular releases. Have you got them? Are you a fan? Do you dislike them? I'm interested to know. But thanks for watching again, my friends. Feel free to like and subscribe. Do check back soon for more reviews and recommendations. But above all, my friends, take care of yourselves and stay heavy.